Today, we'll be going to continue our learning. This is, in fact, one of the topic under the gradual discourse, right? And this, there are 6 together, step-by-step discourses or training, which introduce or being used by Buddha in teaching and also training, right? So, what step are we now today? Yes. So that is the 4th stage, which is on the to know about the danger of sensual pleasure, right? So let's have a look at these steps. Anupubbī-kathā. Anupubbī-kathā consists of 6 steps altogether. In the past weeks, I believe we have already discussed about dana, right? And then sila, and then bhavana. Cultivate our so-called virtues. Besides virtues, how to get rid of those defilements and what they call, and to go towards goodness, right? And reduce what the habits that we have, which are not so wholesome. And today we are going to talk about going beyond than that, right? This is sensual pleasure. All right. Okay. Before we go to the next slides, maybe I have a questions. What's the questions is, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of what we call living? Why living here referring to many aspects lah? Why do we work? Why do we do this, do that? Why do we go to school? Why do we learn? Why? Huh? Sister Baru say, since we have born already, so we have to do it. Oh, good question, good answer. In fact, it is, right? Once we have already come into this world, then we have to perform the duties of the world, right? But now the problem here is the world's condition where we are here, more on to the sensual, right? Why is it sensual? No, our way. So the condition is essential only because we are equipped with those senses. We are already have given the senses. What are they? We have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and our body, right? And one more is the thinking process. So these 6 sense-based, in fact, are the fundamental conditions of living. If one of the senses has stopped working, that means not functioning, are we still living? Yes. There are numbers of people which have lost a certain sense, and they still have to live because they are in the world. In this world, I mean, in this world, right? So when we talk about Buddha teaches about how to live a good life in this world, then we need to go into what we have been given or what is being equipped with us. So today's talk, we're going to talk about the sensual pleasure, right? Now, the next question is about happiness. Happiness. All right. Maybe because of the technical. In fact, the original picture is this. This one, okay. I got this from Google. So the purpose of showing this is to also ask you questions with this picture. The purpose of living, everyone would want to achieve happiness. True or not? We want to be happy. We work also, we want to be happy. We get married also, we want to be happy. We go to school also, we want to be happy. True or not? We go to school, we want to learn so that we can read. We know words. This sister agree. We go to school, we have to learn all those chapters, and then so that we know about the words, how to read, and about the knowledge. Then we are happy. Otherwise, people knows things then we do not know. Then parents will compare us with others. Then we are not happy. So everyone wants happy, and whatever we do is towards achieving happiness. We cook good food also. We want to taste good food, so we are happy. We cook a good what we call this dishes. We want people to taste a good taste also. They are happy. I'm also happy. This especially mother lah. True or not? Mother have that kind of thinking and also wishes. So everyone would want to achieve happiness. And like what we mentioned just now, living in this world, we are equipped with those senses. And these senses allow us to get what we want and to achieve happiness. And this is what has been said by the Buddha also, right? And this is called sensual pleasure. Sensual pleasure. But Buddha also mentioned, living in this world, there is a lokiya sukha. That means we can achieve happiness through the senses, the sensual pleasure that we get, right? But another aspect Buddha say is also very important, which we shouldn't neglect it. And this happiness is called Lukutara Sukha. Lukutara Sukha. Another happiness. But now, what's the difference between this Lokiya Sukha and Lukutara Sukha? Sensual pleasure that we obtain is what we have been doing right now. And everyone is doing it, not only us here. Everyone out there also doing the same thing. And they are looking for the means how to achieve it also, right? That is mundane and that is worldly. But Buddha said, not only we need to achieve mundane happiness, we need to also achieve supramundane happiness, which is Lokutara Sukha. And this supramundane, or we call it as transcendent, not worldly lah. Transcendent means what is not, which is not achieved through the senses. We can achieve, which can be achieved beyond that. This is what Buddha also teach in many of the suttas. So in the training of Buddha's teaching, we need to also understand how to achieve this supramundane happiness, right? Buddha say, oh, we have to open up our heart. We need to give dana, practice, train our heart. We give what we have. We give. This is a kind of training, true or not? Then Buddha say, oh, this world full of challenges. So it's better to keep precept as the standard of living. Like what Brother Ajit say, right? If everyone practice the precept, at least 5 precept, then we feel safe being in the community. We won't think that, oh, this, will I be safe being with this group of people? Will I be safe in terms of my belonging? Will I be safe being with different gender? So that kind of feelings you won't have, at least with the trainings of Sila, the second step, right? And then Buddha also say, in order to gather more merit, we need to do good goodness, true or not? So that we can go to a better existence, Anyone would want to go to again to like okay, my experience lah. My experience where I born, I don't have these so-called good amenities in my town. So no kindergarten, only one primary school. So no kindergarten. In order to go to kindergarten, we have to go, I think, about over 10 kilometers away, right? So my parents doesn't have transport, so I skip kindergarten. So in order, I take that is my merit lah, not going to kindergarten. So am I hoping to go to the same in future? If I go to another round, I want to go to the same place, not going to kindergarten again, because I perceive myself lacking in many aspects, lacking lah. So I relate it to my, exposure, early exposure, maybe not going kindergarten 2 years, so lacking of those exposure, my developments of brain is also limited and etc. So I try to relate to that. So if there is a chance to go another round, I wish to have a better condition, right? So there are kindergartens in the town which I can choose. My parents also are affordable to send me wherever I want to go. And nowadays, children have this condition, right? They can choose. The parents bring you to this. Which one you feel better? They choose, right? If possible, kindergarten is just opposite your house. Then you just walk only. You don't have to drive. So something like that, right? So Buddha say, in order to be with those conditions, we need to do merit, to do good. Do good so that we can gather merit. And these merits allow us to have a better condition. For not in this world, or maybe in the coming world. So that's that step. And then the final step, the fourth step here, Buddha say, not only these we want to living the life, we in fact can also train more. That means we need to go beyond the sensual pleasure, beyond the happiness through the senses achievement. So Buddha say one of the way to know that is to know the danger. Not to say having these senses and I got the happiness, it is dangerous, not to say that. But Buddha said it is important to know the drawbacks of achieving this kind of happiness. All right. So let's look at the definitions. When we say Kāmānaṃ ādīnava, Kama is referring to the pleasure or enjoyment that we have through the senses, right? And ādīnava here is the drawbacks. Drawbacks mean these disadvantages lah, or danger, or unsatisfactories, right? Unsatisfactories. It's very important for us to know this aspect so that we don't depend so much on achieving the worldly happiness only, but we are also looking for achieving the supramundane happiness, right? And whatever we are experiencing, like for example, we expect to go like and this is this political or not? Not quite lah. I just want to share lah. My daughter just finished SPM and apply for matric lah. So hoping to get matric, then can go matriculation. So for the first round, didn't get. So very sad lah. If get, happy lah. True or not? So, but she also need to think of going far away from the family. What is the disadvantages maybe, right? Even though you are happy to get what you want, but what is the other sides of the happiness? So that is also important for our consideration, so that we don't be caught up with that so-called only wanting and wanting, right? Okay, now next. But she got it last for second appeal. Now problem also. Far away, she's thinking of whether to go or not to go. Problem, huh? So, right now, let's look at the sensual pleasure. Kama Sutta. Sensual pleasure here refer to just now like what we mentioned. According to Kama Sutta, if a mortal desires sensual pleasure, when you say mortal means living like us, living beings like us, we achieve the happiness in our life, right? That is sensual pleasure. We desire success, they definitely become elated and having got what they want. And then once they have achieved that, they feel happy, right? But this happiness is not sustainable because once we have got it, it will be, the happiness will be faded, true or not? Like for example, if I want to have a nowadays is a seasons of durian, right? I'm thinking I haven't tasted yet. I'm thinking to taste it lah, but I have no time to find a day to go and purchase to buy yet lah. So let's say okay, I'm thinking to get durian. So I go thinking. Now I have time. I go to buy durian. Buying a durian probably like what we want, what we expect. The images is in my mind, right? Very good one. When I taste it, that imaginations is there. Then I feel good. So I go and get, I had it, I feel satisfied. True or not? Usually one piece will be enough. True or not? One piece? Not enough. That's is individual. That's an individual. Because some will have two. Some in my family, four of us, two like, two doesn't like, they don't like. So when we eat also, we have to eat out lah. We cannot eat inside the house. So we eat, we feel satisfied, we enjoyed it. But that enjoyment will fade away after that day, or not. Maybe we feel good. That is what it means, the second one. Pleasures fade. It fade away. It won't last, right? So that's why Buddha say we can in fact achieve better sustainable kind of happiness, because sensual pleasure, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. Once we have got it, then it fade. It start to fade already. And sometimes when we have it, it will encourage us internally to have more, or maybe there is tendency to have more and more, right? So that is also said in the by the Buddha, all right? So according to the Kama Sutta, sensual pleasure is when we want something, we achieve it, and we feel happy. And the happiness, it won't last, you know. And one who, being mindful, avoids sensual pleasure is like sidestepping a snake's head, transcends attachments to the world. So being mindful, Buddha say be mindful. In fact, what Buddha tried to mention here, sensual pleasure is a kind of happiness, of course, but being mindful to this happiness is like we tend not to be caught up by this happiness only, right? And there are many objects of sensual desire. For example, what we have in our life, we have house, we have cars, we have family, you know, we have those material things and etc. You have dog, a laptop. True, we have laptop. Talking about laptop later, I share with you very interesting experience, because laptop later lah. I explain this first. And the way for those who has been caught up with this sensual kind of like a pleasure, it will be overpowered by those pleasure. So it's very important for us, Buddha said, to cultivate the mindfulness, so that once we have got the pleasure, the sensual pleasure, we achieve that. Also, we will not be caught up with that. That will be better, true or not? Compared to once you achieve the sensual pleasure, but being caught up in that so-called situation and looking forward to it. All right. At the end, if the merit's good, then okay lah. If merit's not good, maybe at one point the individual, if not ready to accept it, like COVID-19 happened, many people has been affected, true or not? Because maybe like ones who have a good so-called career prospect, but because of this COVID-19, and even the career is also affected. So if not ready, then the individual will be having suffering, right? So suffering follows him like water in a leaking boat. And that's why a person ever mindful should avoid sensual pleasure, give them up and cross the float. But giving them up is the level, higher level, true or not? Like us, we Buddha say we need to train lah. We need to train, like training sport also, true or not? Some people train sport can go to Olympic. Some people can go to SEA Games. Some can go to national game, state stage. But as long as you train, the skill is still there, true or not? So when you need to use the skill, is with you. That is good enough already. So when you have not achieved district level, don't think of the Olympic level. That will be very stressful, right? But don't forget about the teaching that Buddha mentioned. So this is about the sensual pleasure. Come back to your example, laptop. Laptop is our belonging, our asset. And laptop, I think many of us have laptop. Who doesn't have laptop? Oh, everyone has a laptop, right? Who has more than one laptop? Oh, I think yeah, some have more than one laptop, right? One is placed in the office, one is at home, and etc. And you make use of it. Having that is of course happy because we can perform many tasks as given to us, and then it's so convenient. We use it, and we can save a lots of things, photos and etc. And recently, my wife's laptop, he saved lots of memories lah in the laptop. And then suddenly, because of the laptop says is hang or whatever, and then bring to the shop to secure it and reformat. The the technician say, okay, we try to secure whatever data is in your hard disk, but finally it lost everything. So that's that sensual happiness. Happy what? When I want to look back at the photos, I just need to click, then I can see it already. But now the sensual won't last. It faded. Even it affects our so-called psychology. True or not? We feel down, of course it'll be down. Who won't be affected if everything put in it, right? So this is also about the sensual, which won't last. Now, let's look at this Dhammapada verse 216. Anattara Brahmana Vatu. That's once during Buddha's time, one Brahmin, and he's a farmer. So he is very diligent. And one day, Buddha went to the what we call observing, and he came across this Brahmin and saying that this farmer has a potential to get the sotapani, the first fruition. So, but this Brahmin is not Buddhist, is not, like following Buddha's teaching lah. So Buddha knows that, and then Buddha goes to him to have a chat with him, and then this Brahmin say, "Oh, Samana Gautama, happy to see you." And then they meet up, have a chat, and etc. And several times when the farmer looking at the crops are getting well grown already, and that is a harvest time. Then the farmer offered to the Buddha, say, Venerable, when I got this harvested, the first person I will offer is you, right? So Buddha knows that already, and it knows the consequences that he will be facing. Then Buddha stays silent. And then after all, after some time, when the crops are already ready to harvest, a day before that, there is a heavy downpour, very heavy rain like this morning lah. This morning, I think, so heavy at 3 or 4 a.m., so heavy, and then stop and rain again, stop and rain again. So when heavy downpour until the paddy field is flooded, all the crops is have been ruined by this flood. So these Brahmins was so sad, and because of this, what they call incident, and he has been experiencing this sorrow throughout, you know, and Buddha know that, and it's the time that Buddha will preach to him, then he will get the first fruition. So Buddha go to his house, and then when these Brahmins see the Buddha, then Brahmins feel sad and sorry to the Buddha, saying that, Venerable, what I have promised, I couldn't make it, and my crops are all already destroyed by the rain and etc. And I feel sad and so disappointed. And then Buddha said these words to the Brahmin, right? And this verse is craving begets sorrow. And because the Brahmins have a thought of wanting the harvest, you know, of course, this is essential, true not essential. When we see things are getting better, ripen already, those paddy, and there is a time for harvest, and finally you couldn't get it. How do you feel? Frustrated lah, huh? So it's very frustrating kind of situation. And because of that craving, it makes you feel sad. That is, the craving begets sorrow. And craving begets fear. At the same time, when we want something, we will be thinking of how to get it, true or not? When we think how to get it, we will think of the mean, what is the good way to get it, to achieve it, and etc. And we have got the means of getting it, we will be preparing for the risks, so-called risk management lah. Management people are talking about risk management. So if not, what happened? If not, what happened? And when this so-called risk management is in the progress, everyone have to stay alert. Staying alert and cautious also will make a people be fearful of facing that situation, even though we have prepared for it, true or not? That's kind of fear. Human psychology, we have that, right? And then for him who is free from craving, there is no sorrow, and how can there be fear for him? So this is the more the craving that an individual have, the more fear you can generate. But if you do your best, you do whatever you should be doing it, then you are not craving for it. When things are not expected to happen, you won't be affected so much. True or not? This is what when I do the reviews of a sutta, I found it very much related to human psychology. Human psychology, and not only human psychology, it comprises, it covers the whole sets of human life. Psychology is just one part, right? It covers the whole sets of one life, human life. So very interesting, all right? Very interesting one. So through this Dhammapada verse on story, Buddha advises, of course, when living the life, we need to make the living. We need to do what we should be doing through the assets that we have. Of course, those senses that we have. through our efforts and etc. But many times when we have these assets and achieving our goal, we are also carrying the so-called effects of craving. So the danger that Buddha mentioned in sensual pleasure is not the things. Buddha mentioned the sensual pleasure here is the craving, right? It's the craving that counts. So this is related to the other aspects. I come back to here later, sorry, since we have mentioned about this already. So I would like to show about this sutta. When sensual pleasure should be known and their source, we should know the sensual pleasures. What is the source of sensual pleasure? The diversity, result, cessation, practice that leads to their cessation. That is more important. So in this sutta, Nibbētika Sutta, it mentioned about the senses that we have. And the important point, I think, is we need to understand is greedy intention is the person's sensual pleasure, not the pretty things. It's not because of petty. It's not because of money. It's not because of material. It's not because of laptop. Those are things. But sensual pleasure is because wanting something from that material. That is the sensual pleasure, right? So greedy intention is a person's sensual pleasure. The world's pretty things stay just as they are. Things are things, you know. It won't change anything. But the meaning that we give to the things, that is sensual pleasure. And but why a wise one remove desire for them? So Buddha said, knowing the danger of sensual pleasure here is knowing our greed, knowing our craving. That is more important in order to achieve happiness. And this happiness is Lokuttara Sukha. If we can manage that situation, when we are in that situation, we feel happy. And we won't be like affected so much because of that, right? And that is what we call the supramundane happiness, right? Okay, now go back to the previous slide. I think, what is the danger? What's danger? Now we know what is sensual pleasure. What we know what is the ādīnava. We know what is karma. We know what is actually sensual pleasure. Sensual pleasure is not the things that we possess. It's not material that we have, but it is the intention, the greedy intention towards the material or towards what we want to achieve. That's his sensual pleasure, is mentioned by the Buddha. And what's the danger of sensual pleasure? And according to this Mahadukha Kanda Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 13, and is mentioned about the danger of sensual pleasure. So now we know sensual pleasure is that kind of intention, intention of wanting more. It can bring drawbacks and danger. So the first one is when we earn a living, when we earn this living, that means in our life, we work, we work. And then with that effort put on our work, into our work, we get a return, right? And putting effort in that, getting something, it requires effort. And this effort sometimes can cause injury, you know, cause injury lah. Injury here probably not only physical, like the farmer, when he wants to harvest a big so-called a paddy, and he has to work hard under the hot sun, maybe get cut and etc. So that is the danger lah, right? in the last 2 weeks, we were having a training and talking about stress management. So the colleagues lah, we all attended the workshop and talking about how to achieve work-life balance. Everyone have different opinion, very relative. Some say, oh, work-life balance is how to manage the time. Some say work-life balance is this and that, you know. Sometimes work-life balance is not bringing work to back home. And then different perspective from different angles say that work is your life, life is your work, you know. How can you not bringing work to home and exit? Different angle, different perspective lah. But having said that, this so-called work-life balance, in fact, is the setback lah. When we have a discussion with my colleagues also, she told me she has 3 children. A younger one now is, I think, 4 or 5 years old. So during the COVID time, she works at home, from home, work from home. So doing teaching online, lots of online teaching. So she, at the same time, she has to take care of 3 children. And this youngest one is only one something lah, 1 or 2 years old, 1 years old, I think. And then putting her in the baby cot and then switching on the TV program and etc. showing her. So now the youngest child has this speech delay, so-called GDD or PDD, something like that, global developmental disorder. That means at the age of 4 and 5 still couldn't spell it, say it, a statement, a sentence. So this is delay lah, compared to other 4 or 5 years old children. They can say in the sentence already. So this is a setback. This is the drawback. Because of what? Because of no attentions on the children, on the child. Because of why no giving attention is because of work. I have to work, no choice. And many of us out there, and because of work, they have to sacrifice lots of things. Or because of what we call wanting to live better, they have to sacrifice lots of things also, true or not? So these are the drawbacks, so-called. This is the danger. And not only happen, the effects not only can be seen in this world or world time, it also can affect the so-called the future world, which we do not know. Sometimes we have done something because of work, which are not so wholesome, some unwholesome thing. And this can be also what we call danger, is a danger. So this has been mentioned by the Buddha in this Mahadukkha Khandha Sutta. Earning a living, we have to risk certain things. Maybe physical health will be affected. Physical condition will be affected. Mental health also will be affected, right? And if we have got what we want, you know, if no property accrues, okay, this is not what we haven't got anything, but we have already put our effort into the work. But finally, like the farmer, couldn't get any return. That is also a danger. True or not? There are cases also when they work, at the end they couldn't get the return, the salary, because the company may be having a financial difficulties also, or salary has been delayed, maybe 1 or 2 months. That's also a risk, a danger, right? A danger. And then the third one is, even we have got it already, and it is also what we call loss. We got it already. Like the farmer's case is number 2, haven't got it, and then destroyed already. Now you have got it already. Maybe you got the paddy, and you sold the paddy, you got the money, and the money you keep it. It is there is a flood, money also gone, and that is another danger, right? There's another danger. This is the third one lah. If the property accrues after working, striving and making effort, once experience pain, grief in protecting it from the ruling class. This is from the tax lah. We have to pay the tax also. then thief, natural disaster, and etc. This is also the danger. So we must know the danger. And then number 4, and sometimes because of these material things that we have also, or especially in the family lah. This is in the family, right? For example, there will be because of material. I have seen a family because of material when the elders has already passed away and lots of properties left. Of course, there is already will prepared, but because of this will not so fairly to certain family members, so also can cause dispute among the family members, cause a lots of these so-called fights, disputes, and then maybe some even can hurt physically, physically violence resulting death and also deadly suffering. This is I suppose we have heard about that, right? And if you go to news, our Malaysian news is like that now. Every day I can see there are lots of like crimes. You see, criminals have been caught due to this and that. And I always quite frequent see crimes like fighting because of material. Of course, those some are not quite what we call normal in terms of their mental state, but some are quite normal. Normal means they are not diagnosed with these mental disorders, things, and etc. But because of the anger, then they kill. Because of that anger, they kill. Then because of that killing, we cause them years of the prison sentence and etc. So not worth lah. So this is the danger. These are the danger. And then number 5 and number 6 are quite similar. Taking weapons, fighting in the battle, when maybe especially in the situation of market, when you do a business. Of course, when doing a business, a newcomer into that business, as a business person, we need to be alert or not. We need to know how many competitors are there and etc. But if we do not know the danger, we will be affected. Sometimes because of competitors, some acts or what, it can cause you having that kinds of anger and etc. Then probably you, in order to respond to that, you can hurt also. You hurt others and etc. And even when some competitors are not affecting your business, you think that it is a danger, insecure to you, you take some action first. You say, oh, we better maybe think of a strategy to eliminate some of these competitor. This is also a danger because of what? Because of we want our cakes to be protected. We don't want to maybe cut it a little bit or share a little bit and etc. Right? So that can also cause danger because of sensual pleasure. So that is number 6. Number 7, the sensual pleasure causes breaking into house. Some they have to, because of that, they have to get it because of their condition. This happen also in every day. We can observe it, right? Like burglary, and then and etc. And lastly, I think this is very important to us. Learning the Dhamma is sensual pleasure is a cause source and also basics in people indulge in the body, speech, and mind, right? And we have to be mindful, as what Buddha said in the previous sutta. Otherwise, it will overpower our so-called conduct, our speech, and also our thinking. Says, for example, when we are caught up with the sounds, praise, let's say, so when we used to listen to people's praise already, when we are in one situation, people commented us. Maybe either the comments is constructive or non-constructive. We feel hurt. True or not? Because we're used to that praise already. We feel pleasure with that place, the praise. So when the words which are not positive to us, we feel offended. And that kind of feeling and thinking, it will overwhelm us. When it overwhelms, then either we respond to it through our words also, want to also defend ourselves or offend others. That is through speech. Or maybe it can show through our behavior, our conduct, doing something which is not liked by the person, to show the protest, show it. That's kind of the body, through the body, and also through our thinking, hoping the person, if he can, have the, what do you call, the return, like what I feel. Now he knows. You see, I feel so terrible. If you can feel how I feel is better, that kind of thinking coming out. So that is also a setback, a danger. It can affect our practice, right, in terms of speech, conduct, and also thinking, right? So these are what Buddha said are the dangers in sensual pleasure, right? So because sensual pleasure itself is the intention, right? Intention will affect our speech, will affect our body, and also our thinking, right? So that is very important. Okay, I have another story to share. This is a story about Buddha's disciple during Buddha's time, a young bhikkhu. This young bhikkhu renounced and learned the Dhamma from the Buddha. And once he had been sent out to learn to other monastery to learn from other teacher. So going out, when he returned, he got to know that this young bhikkhu got to know that the father passed away. And then this the uncle came to him saying that your father's passed away. Now your father's left this some money to you, and this money has been kept by your brother, and see how you want to manage it lah. Then this young bhikkhu heard about that, feeling sad a little bit, then thinking of, is it worth living a bhikkhu life, or wanting to disrupt, going back to lay life. So always thinking of that. And then maybe having that money, he can start off the living again, and etc. So when this is known by the Buddha, and Buddha call him and meet him and tell him, so how much do you have? Or your father left it to you. So he said, I have this much money. So if you use this money to start off your life, you buy, house, you buy the catalog, you buy projector to do presentation, So you buy all these things, So how much money do you still have, or how much money left? Then Buddha say, even with this money, it won't bring any further happiness to you, So Buddha advised this bhikkhu by telling this story to the bhikkhu. So this story, in fact, Dhammapada 186 and 187, and there are two what they call verses combined. So Buddha mentioned to this young bhikkhu about the story of a god lah, in this Chato Maharajika realm, and also this god used to be in Tawatimsa Riem. So he enjoyed quite luxury kind of like, you know, the conditions in that realm, and he managed to live quite good lah. At one time, when in Tawatimsa, so he refused to share this luxury with Saka. So he has the intention to have it his own, you know. So because of that intention and making his merit degraded, and finally he reborn to be a man in our world. So finally he also it doesn't get the merit in living a good life in this world, and this is what the story is about. And then Buddha, purpose of Buddha telling this story to the bhikkhu is, in fact, the intention or the craving of wanting for the sensual pleasure is in fact not that meritorious, you know. Even the heavenly beings also will face these so-called consequences, right? So you see, the Dhammapada, not by a rain of golden coins is found desires, satiety. Even you have so much money also, you won't feel enough, right? I don't know, I've not been a millionaire, but when I'm a millionaire, whether is it enough for me to be a millionaire? But if I am a billionaire, is it enough for me a billionaire? So this is what it means. It is found desire, satiety, right? Satiety, desires are dukkha and a little joy. There's a wise one understands. And even with pleasure heavenly that once find no delights, the perfect Buddha's disciple delights in cravings end. So Buddha's disciple is more, they found happier when they can reduce the craving and they can end the craving like the Arahant. But that is a process of training, like what Buddha has been preaching. So that is important in this Dhammapada verse. This one we mentioned already just now. Okay, I think it's good for me to maybe discuss, to share a little bit about not only what it means by sensual pleasure, which sensual pleasure refers to the greedy intention. Not only that, we must also know the source of sensual pleasure. And the source of sensual pleasure here refer to the contact. Contact is the source of sensual pleasure. This is very tricky also, right? In our daily life, we have been equipped with many so-called convenience kind of living condition. Try not. We have cars, we have now technology, we have lots of like smart phones, smart this and smart that lah. So we can reach lots of things easily, so convenient. We even can transfer nowadays. I learned how to use smartphone to do transfer money just in the clip of the eyes. Then we can transfer it. Last time I have to go to the bank transfer, or I have to open my laptop to do the transfer and etc. Now I can just transfer using handphone, just a few minutes only, it can be done already. So convenient, right? So because of that condition is also dangerous. Why? Because higher possibility of the contact. True or not? Like if I use what it calls touch and go. When I want something, I scan. When something I scan, I do not know how much I spend, you know. Of course lah, now there is a feature giving you a summary end of the month, right? Summary, your expenses, how much you spend on food, how much you spend on this and that. It give you a summary. But the problem here is, the danger here is, when I have a few hundred in my pocket, I know how much I left, the balance. So I can keep until the end, you know, end of the month. So I can secure my budget. But in this, I spent it finish already, but I still have to spend. How? I need to reload lah. Reload it, spend it so fast. Huh? So when I compare using this payment and this payment, this is faster. Convenient. Faster means faster in terms of spending. And then, of course, it's convenient. Spending, you don't have to bring money. This is the danger lah. We cannot ignore it. We cannot like avoid using it. It is convenient. Everyone is using it. Even I visited China. China, some places they don't receive cash. You have to pay e-wallet. So this is the advance of life. Then we have to deal with it. But we need to know the danger. If we do not know the danger, then we will have the higher possibility to experience dukkha. Dukkha more easily lah. I mean, more easily experiencing. So that is the danger. And that danger come from the contact. We have the easily contact, right? Contact mean, and open my phone, I see touch and go already. I can see touch and go already, easily. If you don't bring phone, you have to bring the money. The contact is less, true or not? The contact is less, or context of using it, getting it is not that convenient, and the inconveniences can cause your behavior also delayed. When your behavior is delayed, you tend not to learn or not to pick up. We pick up things that convenience us. We pick up things that can give us easy, happy kind of like experience. True or not? So because of that, contact is there. And because of the contact can cause the sensual pleasure. So that is the source. And then there are diversity of sensual pleasure. And the diversity of sensual pleasure here referring to the senses, the senses, the base, through the sound, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. These are the diversity. I have jotted down one example here. This example very interesting. And talking about, maybe I shared about taste, right? Nowadays, last time when I have coffee, we go to coffee shop, only kopi or kopi. Kopi mean kopi with susu lah, or kopi or. Now there are lots of brands already. Lots of brands coffee, and then different names of coffee, different combinations of coffee with milk, coffee with chocolate, coffee, many names. And because of that also, that is a kind of dangerous. Dangerous means we tend to think of, oh, now today I taste cappuccino already, tomorrow I want Americano, then next day I want this, and etc. Oh, this what they call Starbucks, I taste already, now I need coffee bean. Now coffee bean is better than Starbucks. Starbucks is sweet. Then we try Luckin coffee coming in, Luckin coffee. Luckin coffee has a taste bitter, but a bit of sour after that. And that kind of you taste. That's also dangerous. Dangerous in terms of wanting to taste. Wanting to taste means when you go travel and the brands are everywhere, then you tend to look for it already. You tend to look for it. You take 1 cup morning, afternoon, 1 cup, and then traveling, you drink less water. It's called heaty body. Your heaty body, your body is heat. Your passing motion also not so smooth. It affect the whole thing lah. The whole system affected. That is dangerous also. Danger. So that is diversity. And of course, in these days, the context is there. Diversities are so many varieties. It can be very challenging. Not only to us, to our children also. Of course, they are born with it, but they need to be, I think, learn from the Dhamma so that they can be careful in terms of that. And what's the results of sensual pleasure? This is what Sister Baru say. Then we born again. We come back again. We come back again, and then we have to leave again the cycle. Going to kindergarten, no kindergarten, and this time not even no kindergarten, no SK also, no primary school. Then have to not be able to go to school, and etc. and etc. Another round of cycle, right? So that is the result. Then in this sutta also we mention the cessations of the sensual pleasure. And when contact cease, sensual pleasure cease. So the practice that lead to cessation is the Noble Eightfold Path. So Buddha has taught us to live a life according to the Eightfold Path, right? We need to understand life with the right view. We need to cultivate our thinking with the right thoughts. We need to cultivate our speech, our action, our living a better life, livelihood, what do you call, having a meaningful life with right work, and then right efforts, right mindfulness, to cultivate the mindfulness, and also to get a steady lifestyle. So these are the Eightfold Path that Buddha tried to teach us, right? So four things according to Digajanu Sutta. Digajanu Sutta, Buddha mentioned about when Buddha's face or there is one lay disciple come to Buddha asking, we are a lay people living a lay life, and we use the perfume. Try not, we go to work, we use perfume. We need to comb neatly. We need to be presentable, wearing smart, and we need to also, in order to be presentable, we need to display a good food to our customer, this and that lah. Like we live a lay life. So how can we, you say, how can we achieve happiness? Like what you mentioned. So the Buddha say, in order to achieve the happiness, there are four so-called accomplishments that lay people can achieve happiness. One is accomplishment in initiative. That means we need to do what we do our responsibility right. So to complete, to organize our task, our duty properly with effort, so that we can reach the happiness. So it's like, it's very logical, right? When we work in the company or in one organization, if we do our work properly, we can organize it well, and what they call, our superiors see our work, our effort, and for sure they will acknowledge, and they will even reward us for not. So that is, then we will be happy. That is initiative, accomplishment in initiative, and accomplishment in protection. Once we have earned what we have got it, we have got the materials and etc. We have to keep it safe. Don't be affected by overspending it. Don't be affected by the influence of friends, not be affected by maybe our so-called craving, and etc. So we need to protect them. We need to protect them. How to avoid these unnecessary things happen. And then also make good friendship, because of social kind of situation that we meet people at home, at workplace, at outside. So choosing the right friendship is very important. Otherwise, our so-called living will be also affected, So like there are Digajanu Sutta also mentioned, not in these forwards, but mentioned about friendship. Bad friends also can cost you spending more, and then at the end your money also gone because of friendship. So we need to choose the right friends. Kalyana Mita, and then right friends also can be our source of motivation, and we can also improve, referring to our so-called influence of friends, good friends. And then accomplishments in the balance of finance, know how to spend, know how to organize our financial spending, earning. Buddha said, don't overspend, but don't be too, what do you call? Stingy. Don't be too stingy. Don't overspend also. All right. So these are the condition of the layman in order to achieve happiness also, right? And then okay, two more slides lah. Two more slides. Just now was the last one. If we don't have time, maybe we will have a short discussion only. Otherwise, we don't have the short discussion. We will rather have a Q&A maybe. All right. So guarding the doors of sense faculty is a way to our so-called practice, right? Just now we know that there is a danger. There are dangers of sensual pleasure. So Buddha also mentioned how we can practice in terms of guarding the senses faculty. So when a noble disciple sees a sight with their eyes, they don't get caught up in the features of details. And if the faculty of sight were left unrestrained, that unskillful quality or covetousness and the displeasure will become overwhelmed. All right, now. This is, I think, very close to our experience, daily experience also. Like, for example, when talking about shopping, right? Last time I go shopping is window shopping. So window shopping is like going to have contact, going to look at many things lah. Some of my Malay friends say cuci mata lah, cuci mata. In fact, it's not cuci mata. In fact, it's getting more contact, more dangerous things. So when you go shopping, you see, oh, this is nice. Oh, this new thing. Oh, that one. When after the shopping, you have lots of things in your mind already. Okay, these are the things. I will one day, maybe not today, not this year, maybe next year, and etc. That is a tendency, that's a tendency. So when we see, when we hear, we tend to look for it. When we, I seldom now listen to music already, but last time I like music, I listen to various music, especially a pop one, even rock ballet, metal, heavy metal. I also listen to, but now I seldom. But when my daughters and they play good music, this one sounds good. So I tend to look for it already and want to listen to it, asking for the singer's name, the song's name, and etc. So that is a tendency is there, right? A tendency is there. So when we see things, not being caught up is to guard our sense. But now the problem here is we don't have guard. We don't have guards mean what? We are not mindful. When we are not mindful, we don't have guard. When we are mindful, at least we place a guard there. Even though the guard is just raising the hand, but the guard is there. But when the guard is there raising the hand, we talk to the guard. Hey, you have to careful when things are strangers coming in. To have to stop them, not raising hand only. Some guard, they raise hand only, right? Raise hand. So whenever I go in, I raise hand only, they just allow. But having guard is not raising hand. But having guard, at least you has already placed a guard there. When placing a guard there, then we need to tell the guard, remind the guard lah, every day. If you are committee lah, if you not committee, you have to go through AJK lah. AJK will talk to them. Then you have to remind it. Okay, today I have to be what you call mindful. At the end of the day, then what I have done, reflect a little bit. And then early in the morning, we have the mindful, remind the gut, so that when there is a tendency, then we will be alert. Then we will check it first, something like that. So that is a seaside with your eyes that don't caught up in your mind already. You will just reach there, go to the shop, pick up the things, leave. Try not. Even though there are lots of what they call, lots of events, basking here and there, or maybe new items, you also won't be affected. You won't be caught up with that lah. Because why? Because you know the purpose already. And then the gut here is working already, stopping lots of things. So you go, you buy, all right? That is the so-called cutting the sense door, right? And then if we don't train it, unrestrained or unskillful quality, when we don't train it, then the greeds will overwhelm, right? Covetousness and displeasure overwhelm. So, right? If you train, it's okay to enjoy your food. Doesn't mean that you go shopping, then you go straight, go back. Your wife will scold you. I mean, when you set a gut there, the gut can check, right? We also eat the good food. Doesn't mean you have to, you don't enjoy food lah. You eat good food also. You eat good food. You go travel also, but you know when to stop, and then when it come to affect you, you know better. All right. And for this reason, the practice restraint, protecting faculty of sight, and achieving is restraint, and etc. And the second sutta, Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha also mentioned about the mindfulness. So mindfulness is very important. The contemplations of mental object, the 6 internal and external sense bases. So the arising of the non-arising factor, we know the arising of non-arising factor. This one, I always, I have that kind of experience. Sometimes when we see things in the workplace, when we see things, okay, this one is not resolved yet. When we see this tongue is not resolved, we tend to think of who is the person responsible for it. When we think of the person, we tend to think of that person's characteristic. When we think of that person's characteristic, we tend to think of, relate with some other possibility, this and that. Which is true or not, do not know. But tendencies is there. You understand? So it's very important for us to know that. But in order to know that, we must have that kind of awareness. So mindfulness is very important. Practicing mindfulness and what we call meditation, it helps us to be aware of our thinking. We have that tendency of proliferate our thoughts. And proliferating thinking, it comes naturally. If you don't look at it, it becomes a habit. But if you look at it, you know it proliferate already. You know it is exaggerate sometimes. You know, right? Because we tend to know it when people do it. We can see it, what? We can see, we can hear. But we tend to neglect it when our thinking is going on in our mind. We don't see it. Why? Because it's lacking of eye, lacking of ear, but it's playing here, lacking of some other senses. So this is very important, right? Internal and also external. How arising that of the non-arising factors come to be? He knows the abandoning of arising factor. If we know it happens already, we know we have to stop it, right? In psychology, we call it thought stoppage. Thought stoppage. We like lots of conditions, psychological conditions that cause anxiety and seriousness, that cause kinds of like depress, cause stress, is because of thinking. overthinking, negative thinking, and etc. So one of the ways psychologists do is to teach the client to stop the thinking. But I was thinking, how to stop their thinking if they do not know? True or not? So what psychologists do is ask them to explicitly write it down. So when it happened, so you know already, you used to write it down already, you see it already. So you have to stop it. I cannot think like that. Stop it. I stop this. So stop thought stoppage. That's it called. We can abandon it. For meditators, very quickly they aware it. They stop it. So when you stop it, that things happen, you see it. It won't. You do not develop that kind of habit anymore. So it won't affect you already. So it's very psychological. In fact, it's very psychological. But training is it matters. Then he knows how the non-arising the future of abandoned fetters. So in future, what will happen? We'll prepare from here, right? Like when I scroll, sometimes pop up. Hey, this is not healthy, not healthy one pop up. You can maybe look at it, then you try not to think of it. True or not? Especially those um, not healthy one lah, not healthy one. You can look at it, not be affected. You can think that. Or when you have a glance of it, you quickly scroll it away. You can do that. Or you can block it, not let it to appear anymore. True or not? And this is very much depends on how much contact you are with that object also. If the object you have very close contact, frequency is much, then your tendency to be affected is very high. Even you have a glance also, it will affect your thinking already, right? So that is what Buddha tried to teach us in terms of mindfulness, to be mindful about internal and also external. Because people have been talking about mindfulness, even in psychological field, people do research about mindfulness and this and that. But mindfulness is, I remember when I listened to Sister Budini many years ago, I think 7 years ago, about mindfulness. I keep thinking of mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Only last year, this is mindfulness. Only last year I know what is mindfulness. What is mindful? Mindful, being mindful. So, okay, that is mindfulness. So when people are talking about mindfulness, research about mindfulness, but what is mindfulness? That is what, in fact, Buddha has mentioned into that detail, right? So this is for our training. He knows ears, sounds, nose, smell, tongue, flavor, body, tactile object, the mind, mental object, and the fetter that arises depending on both internal and external. When the external here is the material, is the form, is the things that we see, we hear, the sounds that we hear, the food that we taste. It's not about the food, it's about our intention having the food. True or not? So it doesn't matter if you have it good food, why not? That is a pleasure. You are able to taste a good food, that is a pleasure. But if the good food affect you, then that will be considered a danger already, right? All right, so I think that's all for today's sharing.